Hello and thanks for tuning in to our next Mondi e-commerce webinar. We are here to learn from experts in e-commerce packaging and logistics, so let's get started. Today we will discuss Mondi's Ista Lab, which is in our plant in České Budějovice, Czechia, its features and how our expert team uses it to provide comprehensive testing for e-commerce packaging solutions. Joining me today is Javier Prieto, Mondi Corrugated Solutions e-commerce product innovation manager, who is responsible for the Ista Lab. With a mechanical and civil engineering background, Javier brings a unique perspective to the ever-evolving packaging landscape. With 7 years of experience in his field, he understands the complexities and challenges e-commerce businesses face. His expertise is ensuring that our packaging solutions stand strong against the rigorous demands of modern shipping and logistics. Welcome, Javier, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Hello, Nadim. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Javier, what is the Ista Lab and what does it do?
The Ista Lab is a laboratory where we test protection. We can follow International Safe Transport Association procedures to translate and simulate real logistic chains into different kind of testing procedures. We can name it drop test, we can name it vibration test, clamping, or stacking test. It will depend on the size of the packaging and the logistic chains that are followed. Then we can do different testing procedures. This is not a normal laboratory. We always set up and fine-tune the machines and how many times we will test each packaging. So most commonly, we sat with the customer and we agree on something.
Which brings me to my next question. Can you walk us through the testing process in the Ista Lab?
Yeah, sure. We always start in the same way. Once we have the packaging, this time I have a box in the hands, but it can also be a mailer bag. It can be, we even tested corrugated and combination with wooden crates. We always start the same way. We will erect, we will fill, and also we will close with the items inside. So next step is we will name the faces of the packaging with different numbers. The idea is that those numbers will later be used to follow different drop tests. Like if we say it has to be dropped from 50 centimeters in this orientation, we will have some numbers just to identify what is the orientation. Once we write the numbers, we will take pictures in all orientations and faces just to see how is the starting point. We will keep this packaging in our laboratory at 23 degrees and 50% humidity for 24 hours. And depending on the size and the logistic chain, we will do different machine routes. Normally, we use ISTA 6, that is the testing standard that anyone can do. The most commonly known is Amazon, but we can also have FedEx, for example, or Sam's Club. But if we get to Amazon SIOC, in the smallest one, type A, we will do 9 different drops from 46 centimeters and different orientations with the same packaging and the same item inside. Once we finish it, we will take pictures again just to see how it was damaged due to this testing. Later, we will have some vibration table exercises, 1 hour in one orientation. Later, we will change half an hour, and another half an hour. We always put some weight on top to simulate that this packaging will not be transported alone in the transport pan. Again, we take some pictures and we will do more drop tests. At the end, in this testing is 17 drops and 2.5 hours on the vibration table. But as commented, we take it as not fixed. We can always change. The idea is that we deliver a report with photos and also some testing how we did it, just to also be able to be replicated in the future. We do not really take measurements because these kind of testing procedures are not made to take measurements. It's for photos. Then the customer will tell us beforehand what is acceptable or not. If one of the flaps of the box is broken, if the paper bag has the easy open tear off, then they will tell us beforehand, and we can always say it pass, it doesn't pass, or maybe to my accordings it will pass, but you also have to say the last word.
Thank you, Javier. Very clear overview. And what are some of the key metrics you use to evaluate packaging performance at the end?
One important metrics is if we cannot access the items inside. Using the same example, if let's say that this flat is broken and I can put the hand inside and I can take away the product. This is one of the key metrics we do. Also, if the easy open is easy to take away after all those drops, if it is already perforated or not. Those are some of the metrics, but as commented, we don't really have any number behind.
When did Mondi open its ISTA lab, and how many tests have you already run there?
We opened in July 2021, and we have run, we call it series of tests, because maybe for this box, we don't only test one, maybe we test 4 or 5. So we can say that we tested around 60 series of tests and more than 500 packagings, from mailer bags to wooden crates. But if you ask me next week, it's gonna be a different number.
And Javier, you mentioned that we do have a standard procedure. However, oftentimes we also customize it based on the requirements of a particular customer. What is the ratio of the standard tests versus customized tests that we have conducted?
Then we need to also answer another question before that one. Just to answer that one, we need to see what kind of services we can provide. We can certify for Amazon first, or DHL, UPS, or we can dig into structural and quality issues. Let's say that I want to reduce my packaging, I want to lighten it, let's change from C fluid to B fluid. That is different. If we go for certifications, we just follow the testing standards that we are given, either by Amazon, ISTA, DHL, whoever it is. Let's say this week we were testing a packaging because one of our key customers was sending goods to States. And with the vibration on the track, the surface and the printing was getting scratched. So that kind of testing standard is totally different. This is the kind of testing standard that we sit with them together, and in half an hour we can design it. But just to answer the original question, we can say it's 60 to testing standards and 40 to customized testing.
Which packaging solutions are tested at the ISTA lab?
We have tested mailer bags quite recently. We have also tested bags for pet food quite heavily those days. We normally test boxes and kind of corrugated packaging, but we can also test on pallets. We can also test pallets with goods inside and on top.
So basically, we can test the full portfolio of e-commerce solutions.
We have the only limits we have is 120 kilos and 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. So this is mainly the limits we have.
Clear. What are some of the common issues that e-commerce companies face with packaging, and how does the ISTA lab help address those issues?
E-commerce shops, they always offer free returns. So that's why we always see that the return rate in e-commerce is higher than in normal brick and mortar stores. Then we need to ensure that the packaging will be strong enough to survive the logistic chain. Sometimes we order something in South Spain and we get it delivered from Poland, because in the different warehouses and fulfillment centers is not in the middle. So we need to take it from the farthest point. This is one of the topics we want to address in this laboratory. We mainly test protection and we want to assess that the goods will arrive in good shape and also the packaging. I mean, you and me as customers, if we order something that we want, I don't want to say the packaging is broken, because then I'm not sure if someone opened it, they took it away, or it was not protective enough for the item. So
Exactly.
I can return it easily and in the same moment order a new one. Those are one of the issues. plus also the sustainability that is in all conversations these days. In this laboratory, we can also compare packaging. Let's say that I want to compare paper bags with corrugated for different products, and then we can offer the lowest CO2 emission packaging.
Clear. Thank you very much. And can you share any success stories or case studies where the ISTA lab helped an e-commerce company improve its packaging design and performance?
Yes, sure. We have quite a few samples. Then one that was really interesting for us because we know about vinyls, no vinyl discs, but these young generations they don't know. Those days it was a boom in the vinyl discs and the hi-fi audio, so on. So one of our biggest customers, one of the key accounts, was having some packaging for vinyl packs. The thing is that this packaging it was seafood, it was not super easy to produce. Also, it had graph liners. It was not what you want to take to the factory, no? Like what do you want to produce? So we tested different proposals with Biflut and also with test liner. So we proved that it was still good. The packaging was fine and the vinyl survived. That was really interesting one. Also, with another account, we were working on changing the e-commerce packaging because they were sending through one of the biggest e-commerce shops and they were having a lot of damage rates, like really huge. So they had to develop new packaging. We developed and also we tested in-house one of the inlays that now is working really well. And apart from reducing the damage rate, they are also having some benefits by selling on this e-com shop. As commented, we also tested some glass jars, like 2 kilos of glass, and we compare the packaging with inlays of EPS and also with inlays of corrugated, just to also give this perspective of sustainability.
Very
Also,
nice.
we are always talking about e-commerce. Sorry to interrupt, but right now in my feeds we have 6 white goods machines. So it's not only about e-commerce; it's about, as we commented, below 100 kilos and below 1 cubic meter.
So it's a wide spectrum of products and packaging that we are testing on a continuous basis. And I would also think that based on this variety, that each test is bringing us different insights and learnings that we can apply to the ones that are going to come next.
You are totally right.
Javier, how do customers receive the test reports and certifications from the ISTA lab?
ISTA gives us some standard reports. So what we do is normally we have some testing procedure that we follow and then we document it. But normally the results are given by photos. As we commented, we take photos before and after each type of test. If we do drops, we will take photos before and after. If we clamp it, we will take before and after. And after we finish, we always open the packaging and we take photos of the product inside. In case it's something that it has to work, let's say, I don't know, mobile phone or some pencil, we will see if it is working, because that's also something we must consider. If it is liquid, we will also leave it laying on 90 degrees, like horizontal position, just to see if there is some leak. We always give photos because after dropping, we cannot really measure anything.
So at the end, the outcome is either pass or not pass.
Yes. I mean, in the most difficult cases that we have some doubt, we can always send back the product to the customer and they will say passes or doesn't pass. At the end, it's really easy. All of us, we are end customers. We always buy, like all of us. So at the end, we have some criteria.
Absolutely. And the next step for the customers is usually to do the trial with the new packaging in the real supply chain.
This is also
And
something that we try to, sorry,
please go ahead.
this is also something that we always try to comment, that we are doing tests on 1 to 5, 10 packagings. but this is just laboratory conditions. It will be realistic. We are right on that. That's why we build this laboratory, but still it's always safer to do a short test in the laboratory and later a longer test in real life.
Got it. What is the APASS program and how does the ISTA Lab support it?
The APASS program is mainly driven by Amazon because Amazon wants their sellers, the people selling at their platform, to have all the packaging being like called shipping on container. The idea is that we only have to put the shipping label and send it. They don't need to have an overpacking around. So they want to reduce packaging and also improve their efficiency. The thing is that they put together a list of laboratories and their capabilities. In that idea, if I have a factory in, let's call Prague, and I want to test my products, I will find some laboratories around Prague that can fulfill my request. Then I can go through this list and find them. We support it because we are a part of it.
And how about Amazon's tier 1 to 3 compliance requirements? Can you explain how the ISTA Lab ensures that packaging solutions meet those requirements?
Yeah, sure. Normally, just to go a little bit on the background, we have these 3 tiers, but we have something that we don't normally test because it's not required. It's the tier 4, no? It doesn't exist, but we will just use this name to explain a little bit. Let's say that I'm the producer of these mags, no? And I send one pallet with one box full of these mags to Amazon. If they want to sell it, they need to take one, wrap it in plastic wrap, put inside one of their boxes, put all this shredded paper and all this stuff around, and send. This is so-called tier 4. That we will use just to literally explain. Then one of the upgrades we can offer is the tier 3. Tier 3 will mean that we test this one as it is in the box. We will put some normal paper wrap and we will test. This is tier 3. This gives some benefits. But this is, for example, the only one we can offer for liquids or damage rate goods, like dangerous goods and so on. Later we have tier 2, that is the normally called shipping on container. Means that I send my Mac into a tiny box, Amazon will slap the shipping label and they will send. This is the tier 2. Reduces the packing, it has really minimal footprint and so on. And we also have the tier 1, that is the same, but there are no plastic, there is 100% recyclable, you can take it in less than 2 minutes, and so on. In this laboratory, we test protection. That is one of the key requirements mandatory for all those 3 tiers. There are some other stuff, like we cannot test recyclability, so that we cannot really offer. But we can test that is really protective.
Recyclability, we cannot offer and we cannot conduct this analysis at Mondi Bupak and in our ISTA lab. However, at Mondi facilities, we do have these capabilities and we do this sort of testing. Thank you, Javier. How do you see the role of the ISTA lab evolving in the future as e-commerce continues to grow and inevitably change?
You know, when we opened, we didn't have that many requests. Everyone was talking about SIOC, about protection, about returns, and so on. But this last year, we had more requests and more tests done than the last 2 years together. So it's kind of moving. Also, now with this huge crisis and so on, people is not buying that much, we also need to ensure that these companies, these e-commerce companies, really receive what they want with packaging, and that we protect them as good as we should. So then we can always ensure about that. It will always be a topic, protection. Now it's e-commerce, so we have the ISTA lab. Before we had the corrugated lab for normal boxes. We also have a paper lab for paper. So now we are covering the full spectrum.
And how has the lab helped Mondi to develop new e-commerce packaging solutions?
As commented before, now I have the laboratory full of white goods. We are testing different solutions from EPS to paper and corrugated. We have collaborated with this customer I commented before with the glass jar, the 2 kilos, just to also replace the inlay. We have helped also Mondi paper bags with different perforation patterns. We commented about the vinyl packs. We have quite a lot of tests done so far. So sometimes we sit with the product development designers and we combine our efforts just to see if what they are developing is also something that will be protective enough. If we work together, we can always develop from the beginning a better solution because the logistic chain we know, or at least the customer know, and we can always align on some different logistic chains if they want. And then we can really develop something that will fit 100%. I mean, we do boxes that fit the product, same as paper bags. So we can always develop something that will really survive the whole logistic chain.
It's all about the protection. Javier, last question. As Mondi Corrugated Solutions product innovation manager who is dedicated for e-commerce, what do you see as the main trends in the market at the moment?
We have super burning topic PPWR with reusability and also volume reduction. We also have the sustainability topic. Automation is a big topic still. And as commented, cost savings. That's also something that we are touching lately a lot. Some reworks on different portfolios. It's always evolving. You don't really get tired or bored.
Javier, thank you once again for taking the time to be here with me to discuss the Easter Lab topic. It was a very enjoyable and interesting conversation, and I'm sure that our viewers will enjoy it as well.
It's my pleasure.